Shit is thick now and it's gonna get thicker. White tee, Louis, linen knickers, late night dice games, weed and liquor. Some pill popping, see heads still copping. Serve them, they walk away with an ill bopping. Got bunnies live, niggas coming by on the big boy 80s, 125.
Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. I wanted to do sort of a brief video addressing how I get fragrances in 2019 and, you know, sort of talking about, do I buy as many as I used to as a collector? So certainly there was a time when I was buying, you know, sometimes 10 fragrances a month, from like ultra niche to cheapies to designers. And gradually, you know, when you accumulate 700 plus bottles and 1,000, 1,500 plus decants and samples, you start to realize you have a fragrance for every occasion, every situation, and it's just more than you could wear. But as a collector, you still want to collect. Now, I got to a place where I've become more interested in trying to make my own fragrances than, you know, even reviewing and continuing to collect. But I still am interested in getting fragrances. However, I just don't really see the wisdom for me of getting, you know, spending $200–300 on a fragrance. You know, certainly if there's like a brand that I know that never goes on sale that I feel like I really want, like a Fort and Manley or a Barytnikov or a Le Labo. You don't see Le Labos discounted because they make them for you when you get them. I might get that. But for the most part, I've seen so much discounted. Creed and Xerjoff and Amouage and Nasamato and, you know, Raja even. You know, not the ultra rare stuff, but a lot of it that I really don't feel the desire to go out and get those and pay all that money for $200–300, $400–500 plus $100 a bottle. Now, I still watch reviews, and if there's something I feel like I need, that's great. Like a perfect example of something I want I haven't got yet is Viking. Really like Viking, really want Viking, but there's zero chance I'm ever gonna pay retail for it. So this is sort of how the way I acquire bottles now. I'm just gonna be super honest about it. First, I definitely scour eBay for testers. If there's something I want, I try to find a tester of it. Perfect case and example is Envol by Cartier. The Eau de Parfum is a fragrance that I've really wanted to get my hands on recently. It was on, I think Luca Turin gave it 4 stars. Sorry, I'm trying to just balance this. 4 or 5 stars. I think it was 4 stars. And I decided I wanted a bottle of the Eau de Parfum. And so I was able to find a tester on eBay. Not for a great price. I mean, I think this was like $30–40. But hey, I think when this came out retail, it was 100 plus. So I definitely, if there's something I want, definitely looking for a tester. And if I can find a good price on it, then hey, I mean, this is clearly noted as a tester, I think. It gives you some information about it here, but that's a great way for me to get fragrances, and I'm very into buying testers. Also, a lot of the time on eBay, you can find partial bottles, whether through websites, having sales, or just owners deciding that they've had enough of a fragrance. Sometimes you can make them offers. So like for a niche fragrance, I saw a partial of Montal Spicy Oud. I'd heard some good things about it. Oh, another thing I want to mention is that I have a master list of fragrances I want, and I'm constantly adding to that, and it really has 2 categories: ones I want to try and ones I want to buy. And if something's really not on the try or buy list, even if the price is good, I try to not avoid it, just and not make a stupid blind buy because it's not something I'm interested in. This was on the try list. I hadn't smelled Spicy Oud, and the price was really good, ridiculously good, and so I did blind buy this one. It worked out well. You'll have to watch the review to get my full, it'll be coming soon, my full thoughts on this one. But hey, it worked out great, and you know, it wasn't that expensive. You can always try to flip them if you don't like them, and so definitely looking for partials and testers. That's my main way of acquiring fragrances these days. The other way, yeah, there's a TJ Maxx near me. I feel like years ago what was at TJ Maxx was better, and Marshalls and stuff like that, but sometimes you could still find gems. I mean, I saw this the other week. this Tobacco Reserve by Aramis. And people had said some really good things about it, so I blind bought it. I think it was 20 bucks, and it's a really, really good fragrance. I mean, you guys know that designer scents normally wind up there. You just find a lot of weird stuff. There's been Creed that's wound up there. Montal has wound up there. When Commodity went out, their fragrances wound up there. A lot of Mugler, including Pure, or the citrus one. I forget this name of the citrus one. It's not Pure Citrus, but that wound up there. So you can always sort of find stuff there. It doesn't mean the price is going to be great. You know, the Creed prices and the Bond prices are pretty poor there when they do have them. But I still look there, and once in a while I'll make a pickup. Rarely. And then the fourth way I really go about getting stuff is sometimes brands will just send me stuff and I happen to lug out. You know, last year, I definitely don't get sent as much as like the reviewers have 40, 50, 90,000 subscribers. But, you know, I feel like I'm able to build good relationships with companies. And I'm always just asking for samples. I never ask for a bottle, or I really never ever, you know, say I even want a bottle. You know, I always sort of say, hey, I would love some samples. And then sometimes brands just send me bottles. You know, Atelier d'Or last year was nice enough to send me a couple bottles. I got Lune de Feline, Parfums Vintage. You know, they definitely bless a lot of different reviewers. And I just got the other day this guy. This is Sillage of Unicorns. I'm sorry, this isn't focusing. This is Sillage of Unicorns, and this is a blend of Baccarat Rouge and Millésime Imperial. So the new trend in the cologning game seems to be, you know, doing these crossover fragrances. You know, there's a lot of Baccarat Rouge, Aventus, Creed and Baccarat Rouge, and just all kinds of stuff going on. So I'll just get bottles randomly in the mail, and if it's something I want to talk about, I'll talk about it, and if I don't, I don't. So that's really the ways I go about acquiring bottles these days. Testers, partials, discount it, get stuff in the mail, and you're really going to have to pull at my fragrance heartstrings to get me to drop hundreds of dollars on a niche fragrance. I'm really going to have to like it. That can definitely happen, but even then, like there's this new Amouage that came out that a lot of people are comparing to Fahrenheit, and that sings to me. But I'll wait for that to come to discounters and get that for, you know, $150, $130, $140. I just can't see paying retail. Some things, you know, you just have to, as I said, like Barytnikov and that small batch stuff, and certainly some of the Xerjoff stuff, probably never going to be discounted. Some brands just probably never going to be discounted. So if I really want something, but then even then, usually I feel like I can kind of do with a decant or a sample, unless I can't. I feel like I have to have it, just because I'm sort of running out of space to keep all these in. I love collecting, but again, I'm definitely more into trying to make my own fragrances, and I'm collecting materials to make fragrances. So if I like something, I kind of want to see if I can piece it together. So I would love to know, what are there any tricks you guys have to get fragrances? Like, are you just all out and just buy whatever you want? Or like, are you looking on eBay and FragranceNet and stuff like that? Do you find stuff for your local discounters? Definitely drop a comment and let me know your preferred way to grab fragrances in 2019. You know, it's definitely different from when I started collecting about 6-7 years ago. You know, I still have that Jones, and I'm still, you know, getting more than I probably should have. I just bought Hermes, and I just bought Balmain, a vintage bottle of Balmain, Monsieur, I think it's called. So definitely still getting stuff more than I should, but not like I used to. So that's sort of a video I wanted to do for you guys real quick. Let you know what's what. I'll be back next week, obviously, with some more videos. I want to thank you all so much for watching. My name is
worried about the mansion got termites, never been played once. Yes, I'm addicted to haze blunts, and I'm old school like British and suede fronts. Right. Valley silk shirts, true feels good, guilt hurts. Who could catch second and still murk? Who could pump coke and still work? This is going on every day in the hood.